Mike Tannenbaum was on Wake Up. That's the ESPN morning show. It's one that I don't even tune into, never really care to tune into. I mean, like, I grew up, everybody, for the most part, ESPN is part of the routine at some point in your life, if you're a sports fan, typically, if you have access to it. And I remember, Greeny and whoever the hell his partner was back then, I apologize for forgetting his name. What was his name, actually? Golick, thank you. Yeah. That was a part of my morning routine, like, once I became an adult and had cable and stuff like that. Well, he's part of that. And then today they had, I guess, Mike Tannenbaum on. And they're obviously talking about the trade deadlines Tuesday. And so Mike Tannenbaum, if you guys don't know, is a former GM. He is the Jets GM.
Keyword.
Yeah, former. That is you're absolutely right. That is the key word. He is the GM that traded for Braylon Edwards. And they went to the AFC Championship game.
Best thing he's done in his career.
Probably, yeah, honestly, probably the best thing he ever did in his career. His proposed trade to fix the Detroit Lions' edge rushing situation, Smitty, was 3 first-round picks. It's right off the rip, just
you got to think about it. I would do it. If it was just 3, I'd probably do it.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. 3 first-round picks, a second-round pick, which, like, I just gave you 3. What are we doing a second for?
Yeah.
And Jahmyr Gibbs in exchange for Myles Garrett solely by himself.
No. Hard pass.
Yeah, I don't know.
How are you a fucking G? What are you doing?
He's been watching too much NBA. Yeah. Like, in his retirement, Tannenbaum has been watching too much NBA. Because that's an NBA trade.
That is an NBA trade.
It's a straight-up NBA trade. Like, that's just stupid, man. I like, 3 first-round picks alone, if you want to, like, have a debate over it, you can do it for just 3 first-round picks, and a second-round pick, and the best running back in the NFL. Like, what, you smoking dick or something, dude? Like, what? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He had, like, the picture of Bart Scott, like.
Yes.
And he had people walking off the set. There's
Ryan
a reason.
Clark walked off the set.
Yeah.
And he did something as ridiculous as whiteface the other night. So, like,
he did do whiteface, which was funny.
The guy just did whiteface 2 days ago walking off the set. You're saying something fucking crazy here. Yeah. There's Ryan Clark. As the GOAT, Bill Belichick.
That's funny.
Like, if you got that guy walking the set,
maybe he's just trying to say he's got young hoes.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a little read between the lines moment. But, yeah, this guy Mike Tannenbaum is a total idiot for this stuff. Like, you did a great job in trading for Braylon Edwards.
Yeah.
And getting that Jets team to, what was it, 3 consecutive AFC championship games?
Something nice.
Something like that. Dude. Great job. Very well done. There's a reason you're sitting on that desk. Just like me, buddy. There's a reason we hold the same title, pal. It's because that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. A GM doing that would immediately get fired. I know Myles Garrett is a one-of-one generational type of guy.
Yes.
But that's a straight-up NBA trade. Like, that's lunacy.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, that's basically 4 first-rounders because Gibbs was the 12th overall pick in the draft. So you're talking about 4 first-rounders and a second for Myles Garrett. And he said Gibbs is replaceable while he's on pace for 1,800 total yards and 17 touchdowns. That's who you just said is replaceable. What are we doing here? This was a straight clickbait type thing here. He did his job. It worked out well for him.
I guess so, bro. But, like, I can't move forward respecting this guy. Like, is it worth it? I guess if you get an ESPN bag, it might be a little different. Like if you're giving me, 6 figures, I might say some stupid shit just for conversation. They're like, hey, we need you to fucking say.
I mean, I said I would. You know what I said?
Yeah, we both said
yeah.
That's kind of. I mean, that's totally different. Why are you bringing that up?
Because I just want to say I've said some wild shit. I would not say anything that wild
for 6 figures.
That's yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be ESPN's. This show is absolutely fucking scripted and fake at this point. I mean, what the fuck?
I mean, we know they're all scripted. Did you, as a former
GM, generally sit down and was like, "Yeah, this makes sense."
Yes.
Fucking it. What the? I mean,
we have inside information from people that have worked in those situations that know ESPN shows is literally you sit down in a meeting, and it doesn't matter what you believe, you take opposite sides. Like one person takes one side, the other person takes the other side. It's not what they mean. So that does not surprise me, but Jesus, man, like at least make it somewhat believable.
I almost wanted to stem this into a conversation if Myles Garrett is actually still available, but like the reason why I kind of toned down on that situation is the Browns, the whole situation with them that like not benching Deshaun Watson at any fucking point either just didn't give a fuck, or the owner's being like very stubborn, I guess, because he's paying them so much goddamn money. But if you're not willing to do that, then they're probably also not willing to fucking trade away Myles Garrett at that point.
That's why I thought Crosby was more gettable. I thought Crosby was more gettable for that reason, because the Raiders are a dysfunctional organization and they do things that don't make sense. Whereas like Cleveland, they were just hell bent on making it work despite everybody else in the world knowing that it's not going to work. So I didn't see them keeping Deshaun and trading Garrett, because they were the only reason Deshaun's not playing is because he's hurt.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's. And Jameson Williams or Jameis Winston won AFC Player of the Week last week after that victory too. And I almost want to. I can't give this any type of validation, because I was going to ask the stimulus in the conversation, like, is Myles Garrett available if a guy like that's out there saying that? But a guy like that, I no longer respect. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
Don't respect. Fucking
Can't
idiot.
take anything he says. Good Lord. Can't take anything he says serious now. It's yeah. Let's go to break.
No, quick question. Quick question, fellas.
Oh yeah, we got 4 minutes. Sorry, got distracted.
I mean, if
he's
saying this, it's obviously ridiculous, but we're talking about it. So at this point, if it's 2 firsts and Gibbs, do you even entertain it still?
No. I'm not trading
Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
It's just Jahmyr Gibbs being traded is even like the realm of reality where I would like, where I could even say yes to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
He means so much to this offense.
Yeah.
I
He's
wouldn't
the
do
best
it either.
running back in the NFL. You're not trading him.
No, this did get sent to me in a group text, and I don't think it's extremely stupid. I don't think it happens, but how about another first-round pick that starts with a J for the Detroit Lions?
Oh.
That you have been winning games without. That you did go to the
Jared
AFC Conference Championship.
Chris.
Could you imagine? That's will I get clicks? Will I go viral like Tannenbaum did?
Yeah,
You would.
You know?
You would go viral.
All right,
They
then.
should trade Jared Goff for Myles Garrett straight up. We'll take Deshaun Watson too. Throw in a first-round pick. The Detroit Lions should trade 1 first-round pick and Jared Goff for Deshaun Watson and Myles Garrett. Ben Johnson could do anything. He can help that weirdo become good.
His trade value would never be higher than right now.
That's how ridiculous this guy sounds.
No, it is. Where I was going with this one, though, is Jameson Williams.
I know where you were going, and I don't want to comment on it.
Because you would do it. You dirty bitch.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, Chris didn't get you bobbing your head either.
I didn't say. I didn't
caught
bob my
that.
head.
You bobbed your head.
He
You
got
shook
it.
a yes.
He clipped it.
I didn't bob my
We
head.
got it. I'll pull them all purpose. Multicoder. We'll get
All
your
right.
ass.
You can show the world your truth. I know what I believe.
He's fat everywhere. Nick,
What is the
Would you
trade
do it?
proposal?
I guess something similar to that
No.
with a Jameson Williams.
What,
in it.
2 firsts in JMO?
A first in JMO for Myles Garrett.
A first in JMO?
Because I feel like 2
If
first in
it's
JMO is
one-
like too much, right?
If it's 1, yeah, I'm doing it. But if it's 2, I don't know if I'm doing it, because you saw in that NFC Championship game last season, when it's elite versus elite talent, you need a guy like Jameson Williams who helped really break through that game specifically for the Detroit Lions. Like, elite speed still plays against elite defenders, and that helped set up so much for the Detroit Lions offense. But if it's 1 first, you have to seriously debate it, because Myles Garrett and Nathan Hutchinson turns this into a top 5 defense for the next 3-4 years.
Keys to wisdom
He's got that
says
game-breaking speed, but it doesn't matter what you scheme against. It's like you can't cover that fast once it gets going. It's wide open like that.
Yeah, Keys to Wisdom said Bears got sweat last deadline for a 2nd-round pick. Anybody sending multiple firsts for Garrett would be an idiot.
I mean, Keys. Why even read this stuff?
Myles Garrett is in a different echelon of pass rusher than Montez Sweat.
Why you read his? Come on, you know that.
I know, he's a troll. It's funny, though.
A first in JMO for Myles Garrett. I'm not proposing it.
I'm not doing it.
I'm just having a thought exercise here.
I'm not doing it.
You just said you would.
I'm not. I didn't say I would.
You didn't say it, but you said that you did this.
I'm saying right now, I wouldn't do it. I thought about it. I mulled it over.
pandering.
I would rather do 2 firsts than a first and JMO.
Exact. That's where I'm at. Like, I'd rather burn as much capital as it takes rather than move pieces off of this roster, because we see everything about this roster is perfect except for the fact that you need another edge rusher.
Yeah.
So I would prefer not to involve any substantial players in any type of transaction, because I feel like you're maybe not treading water is the wrong term, but
well, can I ask
if
you?
we didn't have Aiden Hutchinson coming back next year,
I want to ask Chris: is it substantial? Because your offense is still operating without him. So can you consider a substantial piece of what you got going on? You
I
put up 52 points
still
last
do
week without him.
yeah, on the Titans.
I mean, look at the teams
still did it?
they did it against too. Like, I don't think those were world class defenses either. Like,
you beat the Vikings defense.
yeah,
you
but,
got one
but
reception.
we've seen what
Vikings.
Jameson Williams does to this team and what he does to
For sure,
other
but is it
defenses.
substantial? Like, is it needed?
It is substantial. It's not.
don't
I don't
know.
know if it's needed.
Substantial.
It is substantial. I don't know if you.
I think it's
you
a
would
plus.
have to say
I don't know
it's
if it's
needed.
substantial.
He has a substantial impact on games. Yes, he does. I would not say.
I wouldn't say
I don't know about needed.
Would you do it
Substantial
easy?
and needed are two different things.
I wouldn't even say substantial.
You don't think he has big impacts on games?
I think it's a big impact, but I wouldn't say substantial, no, because you still delivered a top 3 offense last year without him. You won playoff games without him being a big part of that, too.
Yeah, but now you're number 1
We are number 1. We continued that streak without him last week.
against the Titans.
Well, you did the number 1. You did it against the Vikings. You had 1 reception.
Yeah, and
Also the
he brings more than just catching balls.
He did draw on a safety on one.
It's extremely important. I would much rather have Xavier McKinney having to worry about Jameson Williams all game than creeping up on the short routes for Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's going to be, when we play a good team, not the Tennessee Titans, you're going to see that loss more.
I mean, 100%. You're right on that one. I can't deny that. I'm just saying, I don't think it's substantial. I think it's slowing you down.
Would you do it?
A first and JMO?
Yeah.
For Garrett? Yeah.
I don't hate it if you say
I
that.
mean, he's like a top 3 defensive player in the league. This is not crazy talk at all.
Yeah.
Because JMO is currently suspended.
And the other part of the conversation, this is where it gets like, let's look towards the future, right? You get Myles Garrett for multiple years. You're pairing up with Aiden Hutchinson next year. Jameson Williams coming up on a contract here soon. We always worried about these guys we got to pay. These guys we got to pay. That's why you need the picks. What type of contract is JMO going to demand? And to be honest,
JMO's not going to be able to demand a super, super high contract.
Dude, somebody's going to be willing to pay him that much.
You're going to have to pay Myles Garrett a lot, too.
It'd be less than what you have to pay Jameson.
I don't know about that,
No,
dude.
no. You see, the money after he's traded is like $17 million.
Yeah,
for Myles Garrett
next year,
Jameson
and then you're
Williams,
gonna have to repay
when he
him
gets
after
re-upped. That's over. That's 20 and up.
You're gonna have to re-up both of. You would have to re-up both of them the same time. You get 1 year of Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett. No, Myles Garrett I think it's like 2 years.
Well, still, JMO's got
3
what?
years.
3 years
I
left.
guess you could use a 5th year option
on his contract.
Yeah.
So either way, you're gonna have to pay those guys, and they're both.
But Jam, we have to pay a little bit more.
They're both gonna be around. They're both gonna be around 20 mils.
The reason I would do it is because you're getting a top 3 defender in the NFL, and you can pair that with maybe another top 3, top 5 defender in the NFL for the next 2 years, 3 years. You're talking about a top 5 defense to pair with the best offense in the NFL, even when J-Mo is not playing. Yes, I'm doing it, and I love J-Mo. He's the most explosive player. It's tough to let him go because he shows up in the big games, or at least the biggest game we've ever had, the NFC Championship game, he showed up. So it sucks to let him go, but I think the offense would still put up points, and I think Garrett is the type of guy that could stop a Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
I would feel so bad shipping anybody to Cleveland.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
wouldn't want to do that to Jameson
especially
Williams.
a receiver.
Especially a
That's
receiver.
terrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that to Jameson Williams. I would rather do 2 firsts than a
All right.
first and Jameson.
I'm the
so
same
two
way.
things-
I would rather do the assets. Like I just your team is so perfect. Other than the edge,
Yeah.
just get the edge
locked
player.
in.
I'd rather spend the capital. I know that people love the capital, and I you have a good point, Easy, about the contracts coming up.
Yeah.
And that too. I do disagree that on how much JMO would cost, but I get that point of it. That's
They're
valid.
both going to be around 20 million a year.
Yeah,
Garrett and
it
J-Mo.
wouldn't. It wouldn't
And one
be that.
guy's arguably the best in his position.
Yeah.
Coming off a defensive player of the year.
You know what, fellas? I don't want the second first rounder. I'm only going for Jameson Williams because that pick's going to be, 30, 31, 32. Just J-Mo on the board. Are you doing it?
Just J-Mo for Myles Garrett?
J-Mo for Myles Garrett
No,
straight up.
first rounder. They don't want the second first rounder. They know it's going to be a late first rounder. They
Oh,
say
you're the
they're
Browns GM.
Yeah, they want J-Mo. Are you doing it?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not. I just feel
You're
like
talking
you're
about just the
straight
first
up.
and J? Yeah.
First and J.
Yeah, I am. Listen, when you acquire Myles Garrett, because here's the actual conversation. First, foremost, too, I saw a comment there that you liked. You said, wouldn't they rather want Hooker than J-Mo?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they would. Hooker's never proven anything. You have Jameis Winston, who is proven something. At least he won you a game against the Ravens last week.
Jameis would be nasty.
Exactly. And they just got rid of Amari Cooper, so they just lost a receiving body, a premier receiving body. No, J-Mo would definitely have the best value in that situation. The other thing, too, this is of the contracts, according to Spot Track, post-trade.
Right now, though.
2024 Myles Garrett, it's somehow, some way, it would be fucking insane. And this is probably why it won't happen either, because they'd be paying a shit to the dead cap. Less than $1 million would be the cap hit for this year. But moving forward, 2025, 19.8.
You just tried to assault me.
Under $20 million for 2025. 2026, $25 million. And both those years, non-guaranteed. So if you had to make a cut, you can make that cut, walk away, hands clean. Jameson Williams, I'm telling you that contract, because it's going to be a market type situation unless he just dedicates himself to Detroit. It's going to be upwards around 25, maybe even higher. Now the guys are getting paid $30 million.
See, QQWW says if J-Mo can get Myles, then you can do 2 firsts instead for sure. I don't even like talking about this. It's making me uncomfortable.
Because you want to do it.
No, because I'd rather trade the 2 firsts. And again, I don't know if Jameson Williams is a team or somebody a team would target in a trade right now, based on what's going on with him.